Hey everyone, Satnam.
Satnam. Greetings.
Happy to be here with you all again, and week number 2 of our 40-day challenge. And today, we're gonna have a great morning, or it's morning here where we are, back in Nevada City, California, and I hope everything's going well for all of you so far with these practices. We love them, doing these 2 meditations together, and so we're going to do them, of course, today. I'm sure we'll go into some teachings today, but first what we'll do is let's just jump right into it. Let's tune in. We're going to do some exercises, get the energy flowing in our bodies, and then let's see where we travel from there. So take your hands into prayer pose, please. Make a little heat of your palms. All the nerve endings, the fingers and the hands and the toes and the feet, they're filled with nerve endings. That's why sometimes, if you're cold, you don't always have to do this. Sometimes I'm in class and people be rubbing their hands for like 2 minutes before tuning in. It's just if your little hands are a little cold, rub them together.
If your little hands are cold.
Is that what I said?
Yeah. A little hand. My little hands are cold.
Right.
So cute.
Anyhow, let's go.
Gurudev Namo. Om Namo. Gurudev Namo. Om Namo. Gurudev Namo.
Anangude name, Jugal Gude name, Sat Gude name, Siddhi Gurudeve name, Ad Gude name, Jugal Gude name, Sat Gude name, Siddhi Gurudeve name, Ad Gude name, Jugal Gude name, Sat Gude name, Siddhi Gurudeve name. There's a lot of reasons we do that second mantra, but something just messed up my headphones. So there's a lot of reasons why we do that second Adgudename mantra, but one of the main reasons and most famous reasons is protection. But not necessarily like protection necessarily like just like for while you're doing a yoga practice, but protection in that anything, there's a negative energy to the universe and there's a positive energy. And that's just how it is. And so anything with great brightness becomes attractive to the negative of the universe. And so as you build your brightness, you also want to build your magnetic strength. And always, there you go, whatever you just did, help me. There.
Just put my thing in like
So
that way.
whatever it is, the more you're building your brightness, the more that can't hear anything anymore. The more you're building your brightness, the more you want to be mindful of also energetically, mentally, building like a shield for yourself. and that just kind of comes with the territory. It's nothing. You're never creating fear, because fear creates vulnerability. But you're as long as you're generating more and more energy, you want to also be consistently generating like a shield for yourself that keeps you and your family protected from anything that may want to kind of undermine you. And we're not talking about specifically people or anything specifically in general, but just like moths tend to like go to the light, people energy want to kind of naturally drag down those who are shining really brightly. And that may even come in the forms of friends and family members that when the more brighter and happier you become, the more people, some people, certainly not all people, want to kind of like pull you down. And that's just natural. It's par for the course. That's how life is. And so it's just something to be mindful of, to know that if I know that that's common and that's natural and that's going to happen in general, then when it does happen, it's not such a big deal. It's not as big of a deal. If I know if I understand like the terrain that I'm going to be navigating as I'm going on a dharmic path, on a pathway of consciousness and a pathway of cultivating deeper love, if I kind of know some of the pitfalls and some of the rocky terrain that I'm going to have to travel along, I'm going to bring the appropriate gear that's going to allow me to travel along the more difficult terrain more easily. And so the gear that you bring on a path in this case would be your mental dispositions. And the mental dispositions is that, I expect that. If I expect it's going to be raining, I already got my rain gear on. And it makes it easier. Doesn't mean you're not going to get wet, but it makes it easier.
It doesn't mean that you're going to really like that it's happening either when it does happen. And this reminds me of something that we were talking with our son about recently, because he's playing this particular video game, and we had a big family discussion about it. And that discussion was around this particular video game, the energetics of it. And we said, we don't have a problem with you playing the video game. But what we do want to do is implement a daily meditation practice before you start any video games. And we started talking about that. And then, because look, all of us that have kids, those of us that have boys especially, we deal with that. We deal with the video game thing. It's no big deal. It is what it is. It's fun for the kids. And some of the girls like to play it too. And I grew up playing some video games. And, I was in Super Mario Land for like 5 hours until I beat that game. Like, I was super focused on doing that. And what we talked about with our son was the subconscious mind. That was the big thing. It's not about, this video game has this kind of thing and this kind of, and video games are bad or video games are not bad. It wasn't about that. The video game is the video game, but the video game has a certain kind of energy. But what we talked about with him was the subconscious mind and how important that is. And when Jaideva's talking about the protection that we're putting around us with that mantra, the Ad Guru Namaha, Jugad Guru Namaha, Sat Guru Namaha, Siri Gurudev Namaha, we remind ourselves of our ultimate truth when we do that too. And that's the other importance of the mantra. But also, what we're doing is we're protecting ourselves from our own subconscious, the cluster of thought forms that collect in the subconscious that consistently need to be fed, so it seeks out specific situations in life to magnetize to us in order to feed itself. If we're not constantly clearing out the subconscious mind, this is the kind of stuff that happens. And this is what we were talking with our son about. This is why we do these meditations. This is why we chant these mantras, because we also have to watch out for our own subconscious mind. I think it's our number one biggest, what do you want to call it? I want to say
sabotage.
Sabotager. So the more that we grow, the more that we brighten, the more we have to look out for the subconscious mind and be aware, because the more that we grow, the easier it is to slip up. The easier it is to forget. I forgot my meditation today. Or, I was telling my son, I forgot to set the alarm clock at that time. I thought I set it, but it was PM instead of AM. That's the subconscious mind. I didn't check to see that my alarm clock was not on audio, it was on vibrate. Instead, that's the subconscious mind sabotaging. So the brighter that you get, the more that you grow, the more sadhana that you do, the more important it is to be aware of and check yourself, to be aware of the subconscious sabotaging situations that happen. And they happen at the most inopportune times, and they happen when we least expect it. So that just, for me, that was something really important to mention to our son, but also today on this webcast. You bet that that's still going to happen no matter how much you meditate.
Let's just remember your humanness,
Yeah.
and the more you do this stuff, the more easy actually it is to kind of, some of the things you used to struggle with perhaps are just going to dissipate away, and in most cases life becomes much easier.
Right.
And so I think part of what like Simrat is saying is that then it's easy to be, you're more comfortable in general because I'm not wrestling with the emotional body like I used to, my emotional energy like I used to. And so therefore I can like feel it becomes easier to phone it in if you allow yourself to. So it's constantly checking yourself and remaining humble and remembering you're just in a certain aspect a normal human being, and with all the vulnerabilities and potential with the potential to do both great things and not so great things, and the yogic practice doesn't change that. The yogic practice will give you energy, but it's still always up to you how you're going to be utilizing that energy. And so that's why the teachings are also important, and to do things like Dharmic Warrior, Joy the Infinite, which is really keeps the psyche oriented towards altruism, and to why we're doing this in the first place. And that becomes the supreme protective force, just like when Lord Buddha is sitting under the Bodhi tree, and right in the moments before his ultimate realization, is attacked by all these kind of like astral demon-like figures who are shooting like arrows, but due to his like profound realization, when he perceived all these demon-like beings trying to attack him, well, he knew spontaneously through his awareness that in order for anyone to attack anyone, they must be in great pain themselves. And he was just filled with compassion for them, instead of feeling them as his adversary or feeling fear. He's just filled with love and compassion for them, because they must have a great deal of suffering to want to fire arrows at anything. And so because of that profound love that emanated from him, as those arrows were about to hit him, they turned into flowers, as the story goes, and rained down on him as flower petals. So it's a beautiful, whether it's a teaching or a real or mythology, it matters not to me, because it's a profound teaching. And that's the type of space, when you exist in, keeps you protected. Compassion and love is the ultimate protective shield. And so these are things we're mindful of, and these are the things that generate real prosperity, is when you have a sense of who you are and what you're all about, but then you're clearing the field consistently, and then you're using that cleared energy and the heightened energy, and then you're running energy through it. Moon, Jupiter, Hud, Hud, Hud. And so now you're giving like an engine to your dharmic energy. And then it's going to be hard not to be prosperous. It's going to be hard not to live purposefully when that becomes the environment, the condition you're working through.
I was telling Jaidev yesterday that these are my favorite two Kriyas put together, that I don't remember how many years ago that he put these two together. I've never done the two of these together. I've done them separately. And for some reason, when the two of them were put together, it was like this key unlocked for me. And it's the most profound combination of meditations I've ever done together. And I really love them. And I can feel immediate effects but I also, since we've been doing this meditation for years now, I felt really profound effects in my life ongoing. And so we're just really happy to be doing this with you today. And you ready to get going?
Yep, let's do it. So take your hands to your ankles or shins and spinal flexes. So you're going to inhale, lift through your chest, chin is in, sit bones pressed down, chest lifts up, and exhale back, and start a little more slower gradually, especially if you're warming up for the first time today. Then you can gradually pick up the pace if you wish, or most importantly, meditative gaze, deep pranic breath. Now deep inhale, root lock in, meditative gaze, and press the underside of your tongue against the roof of the mouth and be still. Exhale. Good. I just want to point out this very quickly that even that is prosperity work. Inhale deep. You're provoking the polarity in the body, in your field, forward, back, in, out, good, bad, female, male, positive, negative. And then inhale deep. The most important part of the exercise is the last part. Inhale deep. Then you become still and you lift the root lock and put the gaze up. Tongue can go roof of the mouth and you be still and empty. And so even that, then exhale. Simple exercise, yet profound exercise. If you were to do that consistently, it's going to help your prosperity. It's going to help a whole lot of other things too. But the point being there is the prosperity is a natural result of you vibrating well, of you vibrating more and more of the real you. And when that real you, that which vibrates in the nucleus of yourself, the non-dying you, the love that vibrates at the center of the organism is able to emanate out more clearly, and because now your higher glands are becoming balanced and they're secreting well. And that's why inhale deep, gaze the third eye, tongue roof of the mouth stimulates your pituitary gland, and be still, get out of the way, takes the excessive emotional energy down, brings your intelligence up, makes the mind clear. This is prosperity formulas. So Kundalini Yoga in general is prosperity technology. But now, and that's why in this 40-day challenge, we're focusing on that as a context. But in the next 40-day challenge, it'll be something else. I don't know what, but just hypothetically say it's third eye activation, something like that. We're going to be doing very similar things, and it'll still be prosperity activating, but we're just focusing on it from a slightly different context, because the more context you understand it, the more sophisticated and well-rounded your understanding of you and of life in general becomes. And then the more effective you're able to be, and the more motivated you're able to stay in continuing to do the practice, because you recognize how very important it is, that kind of thing. So then we're taking, like in this 40-day challenge, specific kriyas, meditations that do work specifically on the prosperity aspect of your life and the prosperity aspect of your energy system. So it's not that, oh, well, these are just any kriyas and we're just calling them prosperity kriyas. No, they specifically work on prosperity and wealth and that type of thing. However, in generally speaking, you can think of Kundalini Yoga as a prosperity technology because it has that effect. Hands like here. And heart lifted up. Did you lose the music? We lost the music. All right, good. Inhale left, exhale right. The spinal twist. Stabilize your necklaces.
I just want to mention, engage the root lock here slightly, just because it helps you keep your posture straight. It gives you a place to pivot from. It keeps you grounded, and it helps you to do the exercise in a really healthy way for your body. Your body's not flailing everywhere.
Into the center, inhale deep. And be still. Lift the root lock, elevate the gaze. Tongue, upper palate. Exhale. Good, and bring your hands to your knees and keep your chest lifted, your chin slightly in, and be a meditative gaze.
Who do you think you are? Do you know yourself? Do you know everything?
Now inhale, squeeze up tight. And exhale, release.
Do you
Very
think
good.
you know everything?
Let's try this. Take your left arm out like so, and your right arm underneath, and then the fingers into the left palm. And then gently lift through your chest and release your shoulder blades down and breathe long and deep. And relax that posture, and then bring your right arm out and do the opposite side. Breathe long and deep. And then relax. And then bring your hands back to your knees. And then we'll continue spinal shoulder shrugs. Like now, here, try it this way. Keep, as Simrat was saying earlier, in spinal twist, it's the same here. Keep your root lock in. So it's a gentle engagement of your core, perineum area, rectum, sex organ area, and keep the chest lifted up, shoulder blades down, chin slightly in, then inhale, squeeze up. And exhale. And take your index finger to thumb, palms facing up. And ladies, if you're on your moon cycle, do long, deep breathing. Inhale deep. Breath of fire, go. And inhale deep. Root lock is in. Gaze elevated. Under tongue, roof of the mouth. Be still. Exhale. And now aura charge. Bring your arms up 60 degrees and your thumbs up, your thumbs out, and your fingers tucked. And inhale deep. Breath of fire. Stay with it. Arms extended, shoulder blades released. Third eye is the gaze, breath of fire. Inhale. Thumb tips touching, fingers open wide. Tongue roof of the mouth, press, root lock in, shoulder blades release, fingers tight, touch the ceiling. And exhale. So, like, for instance, even like that 3 minutes of aura charge is like a microcosm of what this 40 days is like. So the first, 20, 30 seconds of the aura charge, pretty, easy, no big deal. As it then gets into a minute and a half, 2 minutes, then the more tension develops. But that tension, especially if you're newer to this or you don't do the exercise a lot, it can feel really difficult. Like you want to put the arms down. If you can keep the arms up, though, then what it is doing is like opening the channels. It's opening the upper back and the upper spine, and so the energy can flow. Because if you can keep that body at a 60-degree angle, the arms and the gaze at the 60-degree gaze from your eyeballs into your third eye, the life was going to lift. There's nothing special you're going to have to do other than that. And so then all of a sudden you get to the 3 minutes. It's inhale deep, and then it's like, and by the end of it you feel nice and clear and open, and the mind's brighter. So that one exercise, kind of microcosm of the journey you'll go through on a 40-day experience. Starts off kind of easy, tension develops, but that tension's necessary in order to do the deeper work, to open up the channels of your life, to open up the deeper and clear away the deeper tension of your life. And so sometimes tension's required to clear tension, and that's what's going to happen. And then after the 40 days over, it's inhale, and it's like, whoa. It's just a beginning point at that point. Now you're in a space where your habit of meditating has become stronger. And that's what this is all about, is to get into the space where you desire to do practices like this. Doesn't mean you still don't resist them or they're still not inconvenient some of the time, but overall, like, you love them. You desire to do this kind of stuff because it makes you feel great and you feel like more of yourself, and it helps your life in far more ways than it is inconvenient.
And after a while, the practice just becomes like second nature. It's like, sometimes it's like, I got to do my practice today, but then you do it and it's no big deal. You know what I mean? And once you're in the space of it, you're like, oh yeah, this is why I love doing this. It brings you back so quickly. You come to yourself so quickly in the practice. And it's like, it's not even a thing. It's not even like, wow, I meditate, I'm such a yogi. It's like, yeah, I practice yoga. I'm a yogi. And, it's just like, it becomes a part of your life. It ain't that big of a deal. It is a big deal. and it's not a big deal. And that's what I love about continuing the practice. It starts to become really natural, and you have a casual relationship with the practice. At least that's how it's been for me over the years. It's a casual relationship. It's not like so uptight anymore. But you love, like Jide was saying, you love the practice. You have reverence for the practice. You have reverence for yourself doing the practice and those who gave us the practice, because you know the immense benefits of the practice. It's pretty amazing.
Good. Take your hands like this, like a simple Gyan Mudra, palms facing forward. And then close the eyes down slightly, and then kind of gaze towards the tip of the nose and inhale through your mouth. And then exhale slow and deep through the mouth. And hold steady like that for just a little bit. Just a little bit. Heart wide open, body like an antenna. And inhale deeply. And suspend the breath in and see if you can come to a 0 point, like emptiness inside. And exhale. Relax. Beautiful. Okay, so let's go with our 2 kriyas. So, okay, get ready for number 1. Yeah. stretch up, stretch around. Exhale. Inhale. Stretch upward. And then stretch around. Exhale. Inhale deep. And stretch upward. Stretch the spine up. And gently stretch around. Exhale. Relax into the meditative space. Lift the heart open. Shoulders drop. Gaze comes to the tip of your nose. Moon center strike. Index fingers strike. Jupiter and moon. Right thumb crosses underneath the left. Tip of the nose gaze. And with the navel and the tip of your tongue, chant. Satnam. Well done. Okay, so in just a moment, now Simran and I are going to go over to our group on Facebook in the Life Force Academy group, and we want to hang out and connect with you there. So head over there in just a moment, but first, of course, let's seal our class. You know, the Tibetan Buddhist Dzogchen teachings, it's said that you should always end your practice with a dedication. That's a word that often is used, a dedication, like a prayer for the benefit of all beings, a genuine prayer. And they say, kind of since the theme today has been protection, just kind of organically, that's come up. They say that you protect the benefits that you've accrued through your practice by ending your practice with a dedication. You practice from your own, you protect it even from your own kind of possible emotional outbursts later and things like that by ending your practice. And I would say also beginning your practice, Om Namo. So in Kundalini Yoga, that dedication's built into the system already. It's very wise, the system. And please bring your hands up, prayer pose.
May the long time sun shine upon you. All love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on. Guide your way on. Guide your way May the long time sun shine upon you. For love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on. Guide your way on. Guide your way on. Guide your way on. Guide your way
Satnam. Satnam, friends. So we'll see you in just a moment here. We're ready to roll over.
Yeah, come on over to Facebook. We have a lot of fun saying hi.
Okay, Satnam.
See
Thanks,
y'all
everybody.
soon. Satnam.